Welcome Exiles! I've recently been doing a series of scientific tests on the Genesis tree, where I, scientifically, throw 1 million Hiveblood at it to see what happens. First, I aim for belts, and the results weren't great. Then, I aim for jewels, and the results were way more interesting. But now, to finish off this mini-series, I'm going to target currency with the Lavish Wombgifts. This time though, we're going to go even bigger with 2 million Hiveblood. So grab yourself a drink, maybe even a little snacky, and enjoy some RNG. Just quickly before we start, there's two ways you can use Lavish Wombgifts. You can choose to either have lucky rolls, where all loot is rolled twice with the best reward chosen, or you can choose to have the chance at Foulborn currency. The Prior gives us a much higher chance of jackpot loot, such as Hinakora's Locks and Mirrors of Calandra, whereas the Foulborn currency is a far higher consistent profit. I left the decision up to you guys in a poll, and 62% of you said you wanted to just see the lucky rolls. But that means 38% of you want to see the Foulborn currency, and so that's why we're doing 2 million. We're going to roughly split this based on the votes. 1.3 million Hiveblood will be spent on lucky rolls, and 700k will be spent on Foulborn rolls. Everyone's a winner, so let's get into it. Here's our tree, and we're starting off with the lucky rolls. We're going to be specced into Prodigal Offspring and Wild Growth for the entire duration of this video. And, as mentioned, we're going to be specced into Fertile Genesis for the lucky rolls for the first 1.3 million Hiveblood. Now, let's finally roll some currency. Just in case you're not aware, you can only hold 100,000 Hiveblood at a time, so I'm going to be doing this in 20 rounds of 100k. I also normally split those rounds into halves, so the loot icons don't disappear off screen. And of course, in literally the first set of rolls, I forget to buy Wombgifts. How do I manage to do this every video? Okay, now that little boo-boo is dealt with, we can get back on track. And that's the first 100k done. We got 3 Divine Orbs plus a bunch of other minor currency. Not the worst start to be fair. Oh my god, don't press Alt. So if you've seen my previous 1 million Hiveblood videos, you'll know that I usually show anything interesting that happens in the maps while I farm up all of this Hiveblood. For this video though, it's just going to be pure tree goodness. There wasn't anything too fascinating from the maps, and if I tried to show you all the little interesting bits, this video would be an hour long. I'm not putting you guys through an hour of exposure to an English accent. I don't want your loved ones complaining to me because you've started shouting at the dinner table. That's a pretty disappointing half a round. I have been doing these rounds in halves, but I don't know if I even need to. I might just be good to do all 100k in one go. I'll test once more in the third round just to make sure. So that's 3 more Divines and a Sacred Orb out of round 2. On to round 3. Okay, there is absolutely no need to split these rounds in halves. That should make this much easier. That's 5 Divines out of round 3, on to round 4. So now we're just going to open up all 100k at the same time, no more awkward stopping. Unless I forget to buy Wombgifts again, which is pretty likely. Three more Divines from round 4. So far these lucky rolls aren't very lucky. Only 2 divines this time. Just hanging out left and right of all the loot like 2 nuts in a sack. Let's hope round 6 turns the RNG round a bit. One divine. Okay, well I did run out of Wombgifts to be fair, so I've got 24k Hive Blood left. There is still time. Okay, so 1 divine from round 6 with lucky rolls on. Cool. Surely it can only get better from here. Well, at least it didn't get worse. I mean, round 8's gone better, but that's still only 2.5 divines. The lucky rolls need to get lucky soon before the Foulborns take over. Here we are at 1 million. Thank God we're doing 2 million, or this would have been the final round and I'd be having a mental breakdown live in front of you all. Now that's a bit more like it. 7 divines and a fracturing orb. We take those. And straight back to a disappointment. I don't think I'm a very big fan of lucky rolls. Round 12 now, not long left until the Foulborn currencies get their turn. Started really strong there, but I couldn't make anything good happen for the rest of it. Much like my final round of the lucky rolls. Let's get that mirror. 5 divines? Not the worst ending, I guess. Right, let's switch it up. So we're swapping over for the last 700k Hiveblood to targeting Foulborn currency. We've specced out of the lucky rolls and have instead taken Flawed Seeds, Mutation Cultivation. These allow us to roll Foulborn currency and give us a 100% increased chance for all birth currency to be Foulborn. Right, let's see how these compare to the lucky rolls then. Okay, that's a lot of loot. We might have to swap back to doing each round in 2 halves again. Also, Foulborn Exalts are currently around 4 divines each on the day of recording, so that's 10 divines from that first round. I'm already liking this way more. So we're now doing each round in 2 halves again, so that the loot icons don't go so far off the screen that they end up in Zimbabwe. That's a bit of an unpleasant half there. Okay, so with the 1 divine and the 1 Foulborn Exalt, that's a value of around 5 divines from this round. Now that's a bit of me. Finally the wild growth talent pays off with 20 divs and I got 3 Foulborn Exalts. Righty-o. So that's 21 divines and 4 Foulborn Exalts, making a value of around 37 divine orbs this round. Thank God we can say we had at least 1 good round during this experiment. Nothing too special there. On to the second half of round 17. I know the last round is a tough act to follow, but that was a little bit flaccid. Still though, can't really complain about 4.5 divines worth of value. On to round 18. Okay, the tree's getting a little bit stingy again here. Okay, a little bit better now. 7.5 divines worth of value here. On to the second to last round. I got carried away and just sent the whole 100k. It didn't seem to pay off much though. That's 5 divs worth of value from round 19, which puts us at round 20. 2 million Hiveblood. We've only had 1 round that could really be considered good, so let's see a mirror here, please GGG. Okay, no mirrors yet. One last chance. That's a shame. Sadly, no jackpot items from 2 million Hiveblood, but that's about 11 divines worth of value from the final round. Let's go analyse everything that we got. So I've been storing everything here in this tab. We ended up with 67 divine orbs, 12 Foulborn exalts, 4 fracturing orbs, 1 sacred orb, 82 ancient orbs, and then a whole bunch of other random currencies. It really wasn't that great, and I got fairly lucky on hitting the full stack of divs. Let's convert all of this to divine orbs and see the official final number. So with it all converted, we ended up with just over 118 divines from 2 million Hiveblood. I also have 20 stacked decks and 82 ancient orbs here, worth around 2 divines more. But I'm actually going to quickly roll these for the fun of it. So, we can say that from 2 million Hiveblood, we got around 120 divines. Also, if you've been enjoying this video, remember to like and subscribe. It means a huge amount to me, and it will really help me grow as a channel. Now let's quickly open those stacked decks. Okay, nothing here. And nothing here either. Onto the ancient orbs. I swear to God if I get a belt from this after spending 1 million Hiveblood targeting them. Okay, no belt. We can confirm that Lavish Wombgifts are not better than Ancient Wombgifts for getting a Mage Blood. Thank God. And with that, our gambling journey has ended. And thank God it has. I cannot handle any more 12-hour shifts in the Hive Fortresses, guys. It might finally be time to tell my therapist what a Genesis tree is. Thank you all so much for coming along with me on these gambling journeys. If I had to conclude anything from these videos, it would be that the tree is still really strong, but you need to know what you're targeting. Lavish Wombgifts are great consistent currency with Foulborn exalts. Mysterious can be pretty good, especially early on with the high level quality gems. Provisioning can be really good consistent currency with the high quality bases and the T1 fractures, but my favourite hasn't changed since last league. Rolling Ancient Wombgifts, targeting double Foulborn jewels, just does it for me. And now I can confidently keep doing that, knowing that I'm not missing out. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you very soon for my new Zero to Hero series.